Hi, junior high families. Welcome back to school. We're so glad to have you. So glad you're a part of CTCS this year, and we're looking forward to a lot of great things in junior high and throughout the whole school. One thing is that we've been talking about here on staff is that our kids have such a big challenge in junior high because they are faced with all kinds of technology. And maybe you, myself, we didn't have that when we were that age, and so we probably got in plenty of trouble without it. And now it's really tough for our kids to make good choices and to do the right thing because a lot of this technology gives them so many opportunities that they just never dreamed of, that you and I never ever dreamed of. And so we want to help them to make good choices with this technology. We want to help our school by creating a good environment where kids can feel safe and protected. There's 31% of 8-year-olds now have cell phones. And so then when they become teenagers, of course, almost all of them do have cell phones and tablets and all this other technology. So between us and you parents, some great kids, we're going to all work together to make this a great, safe environment where kids feel protected by us, where they feel safe around their peers, and where they can make good social media and technology choices. So there's things that us at the school that we do to try to help the kids to make better choices with their technology and their social media. And then there's things at home that all of us can do to help. So what we're going to do is share with you what we at school here believe and what we are going to do regarding these type of issues. And then we're going to give you some suggestions on ways that you might be able to help your child make some better choices. So starting with the school, we want to make this a safe place for your child and for every child, not just here at school, but when they leave school. So we don't want problems at school to follow them all night because of their phone or because of their Instagram or whatever it is they're using. So we have to be super vigilant with it because kids love the technology. They're using it all the time. Get this, I read that the average teenager is 9 hours a day on social media. Seems like a lot, but really, it's from the second that they wake up. What's the first thing they grab is their phone. And in and out of the pocket all day long. And it averages to 9 hours per day of social media. I think anybody would agree that's a lot, way too much. So the first thing at the school is we just ask that no electronics are out and about during school or at extended day. So if a child brings a phone or a piece of electronics, off and in the backpack is where we want that. And so all we do is if we come across one of these devices, we confiscate that for 2 school nights, basically so it doesn't happen again. We don't really want their device, but we don't want them to be using it here at school. A way you can help with that is please don't text them while they're here at school. If you have something to tell them, call the office or call the extended day phone because we don't want them using it at extended day either. The worst time to get your phone taken probably is like a Thursday because 2 school nights is Thursday, Friday, and then you get it Monday. But the best thing is that they don't get it taken at all. The second thing is that phones and electronics, we have in the handbook this statement. It says, the faculty reserves the right to search any electronic device for any reason at any time. Again, it's not because we're so interested in what's on their phones for their media and pictures and all that. It's that if we can randomly search kids' electronics, then we can weed out things that are causing a problem. Some of these things are in Instagram, some are in direct messages within Instagram or Snapchat. Some of them are in group texts. And so if we may pull aside your child kindly and say, I need to take a look at your phone if you don't mind. If you have it in your backpack, just turn that on and we're going to search through there a little bit. Nothing doing, we're going to hand it right back, no problem. Turn it back off, go on with the day. But if there's a problem, some images on there, some inappropriate conversations, then we're going to have some consequences for those type of things. Thirdly, is that please make sure that your students know that they're responsible for their social media and technology use on campus and off campus. So some student may say, well, teachers, what I text over the weekend is not your business at all. And what I post on my Instagram, I was at home, so that's not really your business. And I can't really get in trouble for that. So the reason that we say students are responsible on and off campus is because those things affect our learning environment here, which does affect school. So if there's been an inappropriate group text going on all the night before, we come back to school, guess where all of that comes? It comes right into the classroom. And it affects the learning environment that we're trying to provide a good, safe, healthy, comfortable environment for kids. And so that's why we would say, no, what you do at home, in your room, when you're by yourself with your phone, well, that definitely can cause some consequences and some problems at school. So we'd love if you would help us to remind them of that, and we certainly will too, with random and not random searches of phones, and then I'm just reminding them that they're responsible for all that. So some parents ask me, teachers, well, what are some things I can do at home to help my child make some better choices? So we have a few suggestions for you, and some of these are, there's many, hundreds of suggestions, and every family maybe does it a little differently to kind of keep a handle on this issue. But we want to share with you just a few suggestions. You don't have to do it this way, but if you're going, wow, that's a pretty good idea, I think that would help with my son or my daughter, then by all means, try these things. The first thing, number one, is remember that you're in charge. So don't let a 12-year-old tell you that you're not in charge of their phone or their iPad, because you are. So what I would say to a kid, or my kid, any kid, I'd say, well, you can be in charge of that when you buy a house of your own, pay the insurance, get all the food, get car insurance, all that stuff, and then you can also be in charge of your phone. Of course, it's kind of ridiculous, but my point is that if they live in your house, they're subject to your rules. And if your rules are you can look at their phone at any time, then you can look at their phone at any time. So don't let a teenager, a young teenager, try to scare you into, well, you can't look at my phone. That's none of your business. Well, it kind of is your business, especially if they want to have that device, I think. Because maybe another option is they just don't have the device. So that is not usually a very popular option among teenagers. So that's the first thing. You are in charge of that device. You're in charge of your child's activity. So here's a couple of just suggestions. Number one is you do random searches. So where do you want to look? You want to look at Instagram and Snapchat, which is a sort of tricky one because things disappear and go away. And direct messages within those applications, like within Instagram, there's direct messages. Check inside there. Same in Snapchat. Check group texts, especially. Regular text, yes, but group texts tend to get a little out of control because people are trying to one-up one another, and they're kind of piling on, and it gets a little out of hand. So those are all places where you would check. Twitter and YouTube as well. You can check YouTube. You can check the content viewing history. So what has your child been watching? It's a good idea to go check that out. I would recommend no need to check Facebook. That's kind of for old people now, is what we've been told. So if you're over like 35, then you're Facebook. And if you're like 15, no Facebook, not interested. So that's kind of what's happening. So second thing, a suggestion would be for you to get on social media and follow your kids' activity, and make it a requirement that if your kids have this brand of social media, that you're one of their followers. And just remember that a lot of students' kids will have different accounts. So if you think you're following your daughter, your son, say on Instagram, you might be, but there's a good chance that they have like 4 other accounts that they're using, and that would be where they would post things maybe that are inappropriate. So sometimes what kids will do is they'll have one account, and that's the one that they want their parents to follow. So, those are the ones where it's got a peanut butter jelly sandwich, it's got people having a great time. And then there's the ones where maybe only their closest friends could follow. Then there's the one where their like second group of friends can follow. And so if you can find all the accounts, follow all of them. Give them a little less freedom and excitement to post inappropriate things. Here's another suggestion, just a suggestion for all of you families, is that you may want to consider putting all the kids' electronics in one charging location at night. So say 9 o'clock, phones are done, and they all go to the kitchen on chargers. That way, you don't have kids in their bedroom still up at 2 a.m. doing different social media things. And I know some parents too that do this really great thing. They have a central application on their iPad or phone, and they can just turn off the Wi-Fi or turn off the access for their child's phones at a certain time. So kids around the house doing their thing, using their phones, and then all of a sudden, Dad goes, boop, and kids are going, hey, Dad, what happened to the Wi-Fi? Well, Dad happened to the Wi-Fi. So that's another idea for you. Have a central location, use an application that you can turn off everything, cut off access. You just don't want your child by themselves with just freedom to do whatever, because they're not mature enough to be making wise decisions in that environment. One other suggestion would be to keep the conversation open with them about their social media, about considering other people's feelings when they post things, and reminding them that when they post things online that those things can't be taken back. Screenshots can be taken even if that stuff is deleted. So it's really easy for a child. They're all by themselves, they have their phone, and they get pretty brave and they start posting things. And people behind a keyboard will write things and say things they would never say in person. So these are all conversations that it's wise to have. Two more little suggestions. This one I'm sure teenagers would just love, and that's to only allow social media on large devices. So my point is a tablet or a computer, not on a phone. So no teenager is going to love that. But if they are only allowed to have social media, say on an iPad or a computer, and only in the main rooms of the house, not in their pocket all day or in their bedroom by themselves, well, they're probably going to be a little more cautious, I guess you could say, if they're on the couch with their giant iPad searching through Instagram and mom is sitting there nearby, doing whatever in the house or in the kitchen. Probably be a little less brave that way. So that's a suggestion, only social media on large devices. And the last thing is just to set some boundaries for the kids. So whatever that is for you, a certain amount of time, a certain type of device, but if we can all just get away from 9 hours a day on social media, those kids, that would be so helpful for them and for us here at school, at home, all that. So those are our main suggestions. We're open to hearing any of yours, because a lot of you parents do such a great job with your kids and with their devices. But we wanted to communicate straight with you here on these things about how we feel, what we're going to be doing to sort of keep an eye on this issue, and then how you can help at home, because that's where it all starts. So thanks so much for watching, and we pray that this is just a great year for your family, and it's a great time for your child here at our school. Thanks so much.